Aloha mai kako. O kunax kauinoa no kalihi mai ao. I teach at Kamehameha Schools, and this is a video on how to create a painting that's a landscape painting which is named Aloha Āina. Aloha Āina has a very broad meaning. It's not just a landscape painting as we think about it in the traditional sense. It has a meaning that a sense of kuleana, responsibility, a sense of malama, care, a sense of being able to really honor the land that you live in through your painting. So it should be invested with some type of emotion, and the emotions are created by how well you can craft your painting and how you color it. So this is going to be a tutorial on how to do the painting itself. And the following video that you will watch after this narration concerns the project that you are currently working on. So thank you very much, and please watch very carefully on how to start this painting. So we start with adding a ground colors. That means I'm going to paint the entire canvas bright red. So this is not the traditional type of impressionist painting or traditional landscape painting. We're starting with bright colors. The second thing we do, we are going to, after we put on a very light layer of with a lot of watery red paint, we're taking out all the light areas that you could find using a painting rag. The next step is to lay in the dark color. You start with a value study, and once again, as you put in the dark colors, you can concentrate on thinking about it not just as completely black. I would use different types of colors. Then you can adjust it using Q-tips or other types of tools like painting rags. And I'm going to put in the dominant colors. In this case, it's going to be like a greenish, olive greenish color for the ground in the front. In the mountains in the background, I'm putting a kind of like a bluish turquoise type of color. In the sky, I chose to paint the sky with a light pink color, as you can see. I'm using a bigger brush. Right, for this particular project, we're not going to do a lot of blending, but we will do some. Okay, so now I'm going to strengthen the color, the grass colors in the front, as you can see, using thicker paint. Okay, I'm gonna lay in other colors. Like I'm using a smaller brush right now, and I'm going to start to put in a little bit more detail. I'm using kind of like a mix between white and blue and black, kind of like a grayish sidewalk color. I put some shadows in the grass. Now I'm getting a small brush. I'm brushing in some, I'm reinforcing the red color. Remember, this is a fulvist or brighter color painting. I'm putting in the, using the small brush using red paints. It's kind of like an off red. Then now I'm putting in some of the leaves and the foliage in the background using different types of greens. Could be something like an apple green. Could be like a cerulean green. I think what you have in your palette is, I think, is a phthalo green mixed with yellow. So that's what you do when you look at the colors there from the oil colors that you have. And always as you work, you have to pay attention to the entire process in painting, because it's not just one type of process colors. You have to go back and forth looking at the photo, make adjustments all the time, modify the colors. And also, if you look carefully, I did blur the edges in the mountains and in certain areas in the trees as well, using one of those blending brushes. It's not a traditional blending brush. I like to use old brushes which you can use to blend different colors together. Now I'm putting more details. I'm adding more colors in the background, and I'm starting to add colors in the foliage. The leaves in the front will be brighter color. The leaves in the back is going to be more bluish. That creates the illusion that the bluish colors tend toward going back in space. And if you look at it carefully, I blurred the edges of the colors in the back. Right now I'm putting the highlights of the light green colors using a small brush. And I'm putting little dabs of colors. In this particular painting, you don't want to go and blend all the colors. The brush work should be visible in landscape paintings. Some areas you blur, but most of the areas will be visible. So you have to control what type of brush you're using, whether it's a flat brush, a small round brush, a thicker flat brush, a thicker round brush. It's all up to the area that you're painting. Right now I'm putting more details with some of the light foliage in the front. I'm modifying the shapes of some other parts by painting around it. It's not always that you paint just the object by itself. You can modify by painting around objects. Now I am putting some reinforcements in the field in the background, which is really light. And now I'm laying over light colors, light greenish. I think it's more like phthalo green with yellow and white in it. So if you want to do that in your painting, you're welcome to do that as well. Remember, you want to create a sense of space in your work. You don't want to make it flat. To make it flat, you just use flat colors everywhere. You should use a property of warm colors, which are more aggressive and advances in space, and cool colors, which recede in space. Okay, this is a completed painting, and then now this is how the photograph looks like with a rule of thirds grid in the background. This is from Ho'omaluhia Gardens in Kaneohe. This is the completed painting. Remember, I did not use the traditional colors in there. I created more a Fauves style painting. This is the more impressionist or more traditional colors that would be used if you chose to make it more traditional rather than more contemporary with using brighter colors. Thank you for watching this video.